rails connecting us to various sites.
Not just checking my Twitter feed.
Joe, I'm Michael. Okay, I'm all connected. Welcome to the 9 Mile Swamp.
Art thou man, art thou made through the long grass of yore? For short shirt thou bearest, and no beard I see. And the last wind ere moonrise about thee is blowing. Wouldst thou meet with thy maiden, or look'st thou for me? Bright shineth the moon now, I see thy gown longer. Down by the hazels, Joan meeteth her lad. But hard is thy palm, lass, scarcely were stronger. What's grip than thine hand kiss that maketh me glad? And now as the candles shine on us and over, full shapely thy feet are, but brown on the floor. As the barefooted mowers amidst of the clover, when the goat's note is broken and mid-June is o'er. And will I follow thee till the earth waneth away? Yes, I will follow thee. Oh, hard is my hand palm, because on the ridges I carried the reed hook and smote for thy sake. And in the hot noontide I swept off the midges, as thou laced 'neath the linden, or low to awake. And brown are my feet, because the sun burneth, high up on the downside, amidst of the sheep. And there in the hollow, where from the wind turneth, thou lay'st in my lap, whilst I sung thee to sleep. And will I follow thee till the earth waneth away? Yes, I will follow thee. Oh, friend of the earth, come nigher and nigher. Thou art sweet with the sun's kiss, as meads of the May. O'er the rocks of the waste, o'er the water and fire, will I follow thee, love, till earth waneth away. on the rooftop, pretty women on my mind. Long after midnight and long before day, I just picked up this old guitar to make a song to drive my blues away. 'Cause I'm just a maverick child, I'm young and running wild. Remember that you once were just the same. I ain't got nobody now to show me wrong from right. All my wisest teachers were just a stumbling in the night. And I ain't got nobody now to show me right from wrong. It's all the same to sit this way and watch my shadow dancing on the wall. 'Cause I'm just a maverick child, I'm young and running wild. Remember that you once were just the same. Now don't pretend to understand, to know just what it's like to rent a $15 room and lie awake all night. If my habit is worse than whiskey, in supposing that you're right, at least it helps me drive away the things that come and stare at me all night. 'Cause I'm just a maverick child, I'm young and running wild. Remember that you once were just the same. Big jump. Once there was a blue-eyed boy with golden curly hair. His mama sang him songs and then she sent him off to bed. Now he sits in silence and he listens to the night, staring at the ceiling while he tries to freeze his fancies in their flight. 'Cause he's just a maverick child, he's a young and running wild. Remember that you once were just the same. I looked out my window and what did I find? Snow was on the rooftop, pretty women on my mind. Yeah, that was a David Ray song, and boy, I tell you, it's a song to sing. It's to sing it like David sang it. David could make Hank Williams sound serious. David had a whole lot of lonesome in him. And that's just another great David Ray song. Unfortunately, it's pretty hard to find a recording of him. You can find, there is an album up on YouTube that somebody recorded, but it's an old record and you can hear the needle scratching on it. It's kind of sad, but anyway, maybe someday somebody will remaster David Ray albums. So what do we got here? Oh wow. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. The first song we did was a lyric written by William Morris, which appeared in what many people consider to be the first great fantasy novel, The Well at the World's End, and it's kind of a way song. We're going to go back to William Morris, and this is a poem he wrote that appeared, a song that appeared you know, when I say a song, like a closet song. In essence, nobody really sang it. It was literary.
read the song.
They read the song, but I'm trying to think where I do this. Oh, that's where I do this. Okay, and so it was before he really got into heroic fantasy, which, you know, was a real huge influence on you know, Tolkien and 20th century fantasy artists. He was writing novels about the Gothic period, and then in the Renaissance period, and then he moved into a full-blown invented medieval world. And like a lot of many things, fantasy was something that evolved, fantasy literature. Okay, we're pretty close in tune.
Yes, and I want to say hi to John Walsh.
Hey,
Thank
John.
you for joining us.
Good
And
to see
Craig
you, John.
Ellis.
Hey, Craig, how are you?
And of course, Mom. Mom, I waved before, but Kurt was starting a song, so I didn't want to say hi, Mom, in the beginning of the song. So, hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Say hi now. Hi, Dave. Dave is joining us.
I need lyrics up on this one.
Don't
Oh, it's that simple.
peach. It is.
How about that? Okay.
Magical words. Now is the rain upon the day, and every water's wide. Why busk ye then to wear the way, and whither will ye ride?
I kinda run the eyot still, the eddies lap them round, all dikes the wind-worn waters fill, and waneth grass and ground.
Oh, ride ye to the river's brim, in war we'd fare to see, o'er winter waters will ye swim, in hauberks to the knee.
Wild is the day and filled with rain, our sheep are warded ill, the wood wolves gather for the plain, their rattling maws to fill.
Nay, what is this, and what have ye? A hunter's bed to bear, the battle of our battle glee, the skulking wolves to scare.
Oh, women, when we wend our ways to deal with death and dread, the banner of our fathers' days must flap the wind o'erhead. won, the seed is sown. Here toileth many a maid, and ere the hay knee-deep hath grown, your grooms the grass shall wade. And fair befall the mountainside, whereon the play shall be. And fair befall the summertide, that whoso lives shall see. This is a beautiful melody. It was written by S.J.Altman. Yeah. So Cheryl represented the women of the Gothic tribe, and I represented the men who are going off to war. At the end of the song, I don't know if it's a little hard to understand what's going on. At the end of the song, the men who survive the battle come back, and the women greet themselves dressed in, and this doesn't actually happen in the song, and the women greet them, and the women are dressed in armor, and they're ready to spar with the men. And it's a rite and a celebration, and the men pick their women, I guess, apparently beat them in battle, and then marry them. But well, times have changed for the better since the Middle Ages, haven't they? Okay. It was a beautiful book, by the way, absolutely beautiful book by William Morrison. I think at the time when he wrote the book, he had no idea how prescient it was, and how he was stepping into a new realm of literature and a whole new genre of literature. He really died having no idea.
What's the title of the book?
It's called The Roots of the Mountains. Yeah, that sounds like a really good idea. Just turn the page. Oh, okay, turn 2 pages this time.
Well, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it, and thank you for your comments. We'll read them later and reply. Thank you.
So when I first started playing with bands, the music I played was primarily country rock, and one of the people I just really adored was Jerry Jeff Walker. This is a tribute to him. Soft shoe, jump so high, then he lightly touched down. Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, dance. I met him in a cell in New Orleans. I was down and out. He and he spoke right out. He talked of life, talked of life. Life slapped his leg instead. He said his name Bojangles and he danced with it across the cell. He grabbed his pants, a better stance, and he jumped so high, and he clicked his heels. He let go a laugh, let go a laugh, shook his clothes all around. Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, for those at minstrel shows and county fairs throughout the South. He spoke with tears of 15 years how his dog and him traveled about. The dog up and died, the dog up and died. After 20 years he still grieves. He said, I dance now at every chance in honky-tonks for drinks and tips. Most of the time I spend behind these county bars. I drinks a bit. He shook his head as he shook his head. I heard someone ask, please, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, dance. I don't know why I played that 7. It just was there. It was there. It came after 6 is what that's what happened there. Yeah, that was a Jerry Jeff Walker song. What a classic Americana song that is.
Yes, and our
Oh,
friend
boy.
Joe Giglio, who's watching tonight, often plays that on his shows, which he's taken a break from his Sunday afternoon shows for a while, so he should be back maybe in December. But check out his old shows. He has them on his page, Joe Giglio.
Yeah, man.
And
You want to hear somebody play guitar? Come listen to Joe.
And you can also check out Craig Ellis, who's also watching tonight on streetjelly.com on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock.
And Craig has some wonderful original songs. He plays some cover songs, but he also plays some great originals. So stop and see him. He has an interesting perspective on most things in life. So that brings us to where? Oh yeah.
Yes.
Still in these bars. I was thinking about the song today because this is a song that I it's somewhat, I guess it's somewhat true. There's just truth to it. And when I first wrote this song, it was funny. It was instantly within our milieu of people who followed the Womblers, instantly successful. everybody around the band, the guys, girlfriends and stuff like that, this is the song that's going to put you guys on the map. This is just a terrific song, you know. And none of them realized at the time, and maybe myself didn't realize that it was the Swan song. This was the song that said, "This is the end." So yeah, so I sort of sometimes keep that in mind. And when I rewrote the song about 2 or 3 years ago, which I sort of do, I go back and grab old songs sometimes and rewrite them, because after singing a song 1,000 times, believe me, you know everything that's wrong with it. You know, that rhyme that just was, you used it because it was convenient, and it really doesn't push the story forward. You know, those kinds of things. I wake up in sweats over. So what were we playing?
I want to say hi to Blaze.
Hi Blaze, how are you? I saw his name.
Still in these bars, yeah.
Yes, it's called Still in These Bars. Are we ready?
I think so.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's so hard to take it all when you can't raise a smile. When singing your old song wears you down just like the miles. We rode along through the 7 winters where, through lean times and good, we sang away our cares. And I'm still in these bars, and I'm still on the run, still singing my songs, and I'm still having my fun. Late at night, we would end up in some dive, talking over the good times until the morning light, laughing over the time we got lost out in the snow, and how we picked up the beat, found the way to go. And I'm still in these bars, and I'm still on the run, still singing my songs, and I'm still having my fun. Cheryl. Like I've called all of my shots. Well, I tell you, you must know a lot. Still I wish we could sing together again, standing side by side, like we were still old friends. And I'm still in these bars, still on the run, still singing my songs, and I'm still having my fun. And I'm still in these bars, and I'm still on the run, still singing my songs, and I'm still having my fun. And I'm still in these bars, and I'm still on the run, still singing my songs, and I'm still having my fun. Yeah, Joe, that's where we played. That's where we first played this song. We first played the song at the same place. Thank you for reminding me.
Ah.
Yeah, we had some songs too of sort of local interest. I remember that several people in town were upset because I wrote a song about an off-duty New Paltz policeman who shot a fellow officer in the leg while they were drinking. And everybody thought for sure I'd wind up in a ditch somewhere. But here I am, in a ditch somewhere.
In a
So-
swamp. You're
That's
in a
right,
swamp,
that's
not
right.
a
A swamp
ditch.
is a low-lying area, very much like a ditch, the 9-mile ditch.
Okay, so Randal Collins.
So thanks, Joe, for reminding me about that. We had a lot of good friends at St. Blaise.
Hi, Stephen. Stephen Ross has joined us.
Hi, Stephen. How are you?
Hi, Phil Miller.
$15 is my game, 15 is my draw. Randal Collins is my name in the state of Arkansas. $15 is my game, 15 is my draw. Randal Collins is my name in the state of Arkansas. Throwing dice in the railroad yard won't get you too much jack. Working on that section gang will surely make it back. $15 is my game, 15 is my draw. Randal Collins is my name in the state of Arkansas. Hanging out by the watershed where the shade is cool. I'm gonna watch that straw boss hunt for me. I ain't nobody's fool. $15 is my game, 15 is my draw. Randal Collins is my name in the state of Arkansas. $15 is my game, 15 is my draw. Randal Collins is my name in the state of Arkansas. They're building that train in the Memphis yard, it's the longest I ever saw. I'm gonna ride it down to Fairbanks town in the state of Arkansas. $15 is my game, 15 is my draw. Randal Collins is my name in the state of Arkansas. $15 is my game, 15 is my draw. Randal Collins is my name in the state of Arkansas. Throwing dice in the railroad yard don't get you too much jack. But working on that section gang will surely bring you back. $15 is my game, 15 is my draw. Randal Collins is my name in the state of Arkansas. $15 is my game, 15 is my draw. Randal Collins is my name in the state of Arkansas. Randal Collins. That, I think, is a Norman Blake song, if not a folk song. Pretty sure it's a Norman Blake song.
Yes, it's Norman Blake.
And hey, it's time to read a poem. This is kind of a repeat. I'm doing a couple of Robert Herrick poems because these poems, especially the second one, leads into our next to last song, Julia the Compleat Angler. But this first song, first of all, I want to tell you that this Robert Herrick, the poet, lived in the 17th century, and he was apprenticed to an uncle who was a jewelry maker. And one of the things, the reason why that's somewhat relevant to him is because Herrick often worked in miniatures. He would describe something really small, like sometimes a petal on a flower, perhaps. But his details were the kind of details that you would expect from somebody who trained to become a jewelry maker. But he did not become a jewelry maker. He became a priest. And when you read his poetry, you have to wonder, what the heck kind of priest was this? But one of the things that's fascinating about him is that in a certain sense, he is also, and you'll see that in this poem, he's also somebody who kind of steered literature toward the fantastic. And in his time, he was perhaps one of the best people to do that. And there's something of, when you think, and you find that in Shakespeare as well, Midsummer Night's Dream, which is really a fantasy. And this is a little bit like Midsummer Night's Dream in some ways, but it's also like other poets of his time, the Cavalier poets were very kind of sexist. And you'll see there's some of that John Donne's, the little tiny bit of that sexism is in there too. But these kinds of old things, we realize it was, after all, it was the 17th century. Mm-hmm. And this is written to Julia, and I've written a couple of songs to Julia because of these. And Julia is coming for a night tryst with the poet priest. The Night Piece to Julia by Robert Herrick. Her eyes, the glowworm lend thee, the shooting stars attend thee, and the elves also, whose little eyes glow like the sparks of fire, befriend thee. No will-o'-the-wisp mislight thee, nor snake or slow worm bite thee, but on thy way, not making stay, since ghost there's none to affright thee. Let not the dark thee cumber. What, though the moon does slumber? The stars of the night will lend thee their light, like tapers clear without number. Then, Julia, let me woo thee. Thus, to come unto me, and when I shall meet thy silvery feet, my soul I'll pour into thee. Julia, the Night Piece. This next poem is one of the reasons why they took Herrick out of the canon. For some people, wanted him erased from the canon because they felt it was kind of sexist. I don't see it that way, but he's the first person. He coined the word liquefaction, and liquefaction is the liquefaction of the clothing. The way the clothing flows down a human body was very liquid-like for him, so he actually coined a word for it. It's pretty interesting stuff. The imagery in this poem is the imagery of fly fishing, and that is that he kind of baits the hook to catch the girl, but the girl who is so glittering, like the trout in the stream, catches him. It's very short. And where did I put it? Okay, this is kind of called Upon Julia's Clothes. When as in silks my Julia goes, then, methinks, how sweetly flows that liquefaction of her clothes. Next, when I cast mine eyes each way free, and see that brave vibration each way free, oh, how that glittering taketh me. That's it. So we have a song that goes with that, and that's it's called
Julia,
the Compleat Angler.
And while you're switching guitars, I want to let people know about Michael Klein's podcast, Apple Podcast, and it's called The Voice of Free Earth, and he has 8 episodes out so far. Really fun to listen to, and they come out every Wednesday. A new episode comes out every Wednesday, so check out Apple Podcasts for The Voice of Free Earth. And
at least one person has asked me and said, well, is Voice of Free Earth, the podcast, is Michael reading his novel? It's not. It really represents a new version of his novel, Voices of Free Earth. So, and the reading is very dramatic, and there's some real surprises in there. So, hope you give it a chance. And
great characters.
Okay, Julia the Compleat Angler. Take 2. I'm gonna build my circle around you. It's been so long, but now I found you. Your sweet desires I've uncovered. liquefaction in your motion pulls me to your sweet, sweet ocean. We'll be spinning circles into the night. Soon you'll be holding me tight. We'll be lovers long before dawn. I know where you're going, and baby, I'm coming. We'll be spinning circles into the night. Soon you'll be holding me tight. We'll be lovers long before dawn. I know where you're going, and baby, I'm coming. I circled you, but you now take me. I'm on your line, I will not shake free. I'm in your circle, swimming to you. Just pull me in, you'll see my love's true. We'll be spinning circles into the night. Soon you'll be holding me tight. We'll be lovers long before dawn. I know where you're going, and baby, I'm coming. I had to end it somehow. All right. Thank you so much for joining us tonight in 9 Mile Swamp. It has been another fun evening for us, an evening of song and talk and mayhem. That's our new motto.
The new motto.
So we're going to end up with
GMP.
GNP. GNP is actually an old term for the gross national. It was called the gross national product before it was called the what is it called now?
Gross domestic.
Gross domestic product. Any way you look at it, it's gross. But it's my economic plan. Should I run for president? My feeling is we all have too much crap. Let's stop making crap and let's make useful things, and less plastic. And hey, you'd be amazed at the things we have in our house that are absolutely useful. I mean, useless.
Oh.
William Morris, the great 19th century polymath, who invented fantasy, as I demonstrated earlier tonight, and who recreated stained glass that was as beautiful as the Middle Ages. That color blue had been lost. Made fabrics from natural and organic dyes. What did I leave out? Wrote the longest epic poem in the English language. He said, "Have nothing in your house that is not useful and beautiful."
Neither useful nor beautiful.
Right. Have nothing in your house that is neither useful nor beautiful. And it's good. It's a good thing that you know you're neither a nor, Cheryl. Thank you. Right. Here we go. G&P. I am gonna, if I may.
Thanks again for joining us. Check out out Kurt Henry's YouTube page too and subscribe if you haven't already.
Just a little time in the sun, so take a minute, free from the run. We're in the middle, swept into the race. We should begin to soften the pace. We're running out of time, our tragedy unwinds. I feel like slowing down. You know I feel like slowing down. It's an illusion, that product I made. They're all abstractions, those numbers I read. It's a delusion that business must grow. And my reactions are starting to slow. We're running out of time, our tragedy unwinds. I feel like slowing down. Feel like slowing down. Life could be so simple, spending most of the time. Luxury or leisure, what's your bottom line? Look to your obsession, the shiny thing you hold. Nothing is possession, everything must go. That's right, it will surely go. Like this it goes. Sifting hours, my honey and me. Golden voices go out from the trees. We see the flowers, we're seizing the day. We're making choices to do it this way. It's freedom from the wheel, with time enough to feel. Life is slowing down. You know I feel it slowing down. So take a minute, watch it unwind. The G and P's just a part of our minds. We're locked within it, the one database. We should begin to soften the pace. We're running out of time, our tragedy unwinds. I feel like slowing down. Feel like slowing down. On a dying planet, must we be diseased? Hooked upon a habit, planting poison seeds. Can we shrink production, expand our leisure time? Stop the cheap seduction, open up our minds, yeah, educate our minds, open up our minds, that's right, open up our minds, like this it Thank you so much. We'll see you next week, back right here in 9 Mile Swamp.
Appreciate all of you joining us and taking time to leave us a comment. We're so grateful you could make it. Make sure you guys go out and vote this week on Tuesday if you haven't voted early. Oops, I'm having trouble aiming. Here we go. everybody, for joining us.